Piston Fanatic, I'm your host Dave Dalton, and I'm excited to share my passion and perspective of our Detroit Pistons as we go on this fantastic voyage together. I've been a diehard Piston fan since the days of Dave Bing and Bob Lanier. I've also been a varsity basketball coach of a very successful program in northern Michigan for many years. Currently, my daughter and I are coaching one of the best AAU teams in the country. Well, we had two more losses this week, but we showed some great signs of improvement, some really positive steps. And we also got to look at what it's like with a young team, some inconsistencies. So we had a great game on Saturday night by Jaden Ivey, maybe his best game of his career. We've also seen some great games by Killian Hayes, and he's got a chance to step up with Cade's injury. The return of Alec Burks, he played really well against the Knicks, and then he sat out Saturday because they don't want to play him back-to-back right away. And Marvin Bagley came back on Saturday and just gave us a little taste of what he might provide in the future going forward. So again, it's not going to be an easy trip. There's going to be injuries, but that's life in the NBA. And Cade, I think, is going to miss the Toronto game, which is going to be a real tough game on Monday. Then we fly out west, and he's going to miss the first two games against the Lakers and the Clippers. And they think that he should be back for the Sacramento game. He has soreness in his shin. Kind of interesting to me how they determine that they're just going to sit him for that many games, or it's just a week, or how do they know that if it might still be sore by the Sacramento game? But we'll see. I think they said he had some soreness in training camp, and this has just kind of lingered on. So hopefully he gets better. There is no point in risking further injury. It's better to be cautious, be overly cautious, in fact. So anyway, the Pistons played the Knicks, and they lost 112 to 121, and it was a much closer game than that. They got down by 17 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and Casey played a lot of the lineup with Livers, Hayes, Bogey, Burks, and Stu, and those guys really came back. They cut it to within 4 points with 2 minutes to go or so, and we ended up losing, but it was a big step for us. Our bench scored 53 points, and that's a season high. We shot 46% from the field, which is pretty good for us, but only 22% from three. And that's, Livers was 3 for 6, and Stu was 2 for 4. So if you took those guys out, it was really bad. So anyway, 3-point shooting has been a real issue with this team. And, we are 29th and 2-point percentage and 27th and 3-point percentage, but we're near the bottom in making open threes. That's if you're open by like 6 feet or more. We're 5th in open three attempts. We get a lot of wide open threes. I will say this, that it's not just, as maybe part of it's Coach Casey's offense that gets us open threes, but there are a lot of players on our team who people are giving a lot of space. So Killian just recently started to knock down some threes, especially against Boston. And Ivey had a big game shooting threes. He was 4 for 6 against Boston. But the defenders are playing way off them. They're backing off them, and they're giving them open shots. And the percentage for three-pointers on open threes in the NBA is really high. But the Pistons are near last in the percentage on their open threes. So we just need to get better at it. Ivey showed signs of making some threes the last 2 games. Stu's made 2 for 4 on threes and 2 in both games. And so there's people that can be better. Cade, I still hold out hope he is going to be a better 3-point shooter. Bogey hasn't been shooting the greatest on threes. Sadiq's been struggling a little bit on the 3 ball, and we know he can shoot. First 2 years, he was among the leaders in all time. In the first, I don't know how many games he played, 100 and whatever games, he had made more threes. He's right up there with in the top 5 in threes made at the start of a career. So Burks is going to be a big help with that, and just like he's going to be a big boost to our bench. So again, that was been a big positive help for our team. We also have the chance to play 2 bigs now. Now that Bagley's back, we're going to be able to play 2 bigs and not have to worry about foul trouble. I'm not sure. I guess they have determined that Noel's not really going to be a rotation player unless it's absolutely necessary. So I don't know how quite that's been determined. He hadn't played that many minutes for Detroit, but now they can at least play two bigs at a time, and I think that makes a big difference. Even though the fit's not quite there all the time, I really don't like it when he plays Bagley and Duran together, and then has Hamidou out there. So all of a sudden now we got three guys that can't shoot, and then Killian playing the point or whatever, and so that's we just got to get that figured out. We have enough when we get everybody back, once Burks is playing regularly and Bagley's playing regularly. There's just going to have to be some adjustments, and there's enough players on our bench now that we should be able to field a lineup that can have some versatility, that can rebound and guard the interior better. Again, we've been getting killed in points in the paint, and also but keep some shooters out there and some scorers out there, so that we're like I said, it's not going to happen. Teams, you just watch that game where with the Celtics, they just had Hamidou's man was in the lane not guarding him, and Bagley's man sagged off him, and they know that Duran's not going to shoot outside. So we just got to get that. It's going to be a big challenge for Coach Casey. There's going to be people that are going to not get minutes. If everybody ever does get healthy, it's going to be hard, because then somebody's going to be the odd man out. I wouldn't be surprised. Hamidou has played quite well lately, quite a lot better, and he played really great against the Knicks. He had 13 points on 4 or 5 shots, and so, but we'll just see what happens. Let's go through the Knicks game. We lost 121 to 112. We had it down close at the end. Sadiq had only 11 points, 4 for 10 from the field, and 0 for 3 on threes. He has 5 rebounds, and so 1 assist. Bogey shot really well. He had 25 points, 9 for 15, but he was 0 for 5 on threes. I mean, he is, again, one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, and I have no doubt he will get better. But he was 7 for 7 from the line. Bogey has shown lately, for me, he has shown the ability. He has a good bag of tricks, man. He gets in there. He can get into the paint. He's got that little fadeaway jumper that he can knock down, and he hits it at a high percentage. So, he's driving to the basket, getting fouled, and so he's going to be great for us still. Stu had 13 points, 4 for 7, 2 for 4 on threes, and 3 for 4 on free throws. So again, he draws free throws. 2 for 4 on threes is awesome, and he had 8 rebounds. So another good game for Beef Stew. Ivey struggled. He had only 10 points, 4 for 11, 0 for 5 on threes, only 2 for 5 on free throws. He had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, which isn't bad, but he had 4 turnovers, and he was team worst, minus 17. So that's the struggles for our young player. And we're going to see he just turned it around the very next night against the Celtics and had a magnificent game. Killian had a solid game. He had 11 points, only 4 for 12, which is not a good percentage, and 1 for 6 on threes. And so that's not good. But he did have 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 turnovers, which isn't great. He had a good game, and his confidence is getting better, and I think could be a turning point for him. This wasn't a great game, though, but still, Coach Casey played him 34 minutes. He was tied with Bogey for the most minutes played on the team, in spite of shooting not very well and turning it over. But he, made some great strides. Wednesday, he had a really great game. He scored 16 points and shot really well, and then he had a really great game on Saturday against the Celtics. So I think this is, again, the steps forward that we're making. A week ago it looked like he was probably washed up. I mean, a lot of people had him washed up and wanted him run out of town, and I even suggested, probably not to go to the G League like some did, but they give him a couple nights off and try to help him recalibrate and see what happens. Like I said, Hammy had a sensational game. When you score 13 points and only take 5 shots, that is tremendous. And he's that live body, but I'm still not sure what's going to happen. Like I said, somebody's going to be left out when we get everybody back. when Burks plays and Bogey and Bay and Stu, and there's just a lot of players to play and not that many minutes to go around. So Duran had only 1 point, but he had 8 rebounds and 1 block, and he only played 21 minutes. And so I get tired. I would listen to a lot of podcasts, and I hear people. There's this one guy that does a Piston podcast, and he does a rant for like every segment. He'll repeat himself like 5 times. Seriously, literally 5 times. But at the risk of boring you, I'm going to keep on beating the drum and saying Duran needs to play more minutes. We get hurt on the boards. We don't have great interior defense, and he has 8 rebounds and a block in 21 minutes. I mean, I just want him to play 25 to 30 minutes every night. And so Burks, he came on first game, had to go. His first game back was against his former team, the Knicks in New York. So that's kind of weird. But he scored 17 points, and I don't know how many times we've had a guy off our bench score 17 points. I doubt it's happened this year. So that was a big boost to our team. It was evident that he is Hooper's Hooper, and that he has a bag of tricks that he can score on, a variety. He looked really good. He only shot 5 for 12 and only 1 for 5 on threes, and he is close to a 40% career three-point shooter. So that's going to come. But he got to the line 8 times and made 6 of them. So big boost by Alec Burks, and I think he's going to be fun to watch. I mean, my sense right now, 1 game, that's certainly way too hurry to make a real evaluation. But my guess is that we will keep him, or try to keep him at least. So we have him this year, and then we have the team option for next year. And unless we trade him, we certainly will keep him for that year, and then we'll see what happens, whether we sign him or not. Livers had a great game. So this is another thing I've been talking about. We lost 2 games, but this is a big step. Livers was fantastic. He had 11 points, 3 for 6. All of his shots were threes, 2 for 2 from the line, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And so that defensive energy that he brings and that 3-point shooting that he brings really can help. And I don't know if I mentioned it, that at the end of the game when we were making our comeback, it was Livers, Hayes, Bogey, Burks, and Stu. And Sadiq wasn't in the lineup even, for a long stretch there. So I just think that he is going to be a contributor, but then he turns around, and that was Friday night against the Knicks. And then Saturday he turns around and he has not a very good game. So we'll go over Saturday's game, but again, that was great. The Knicks game, 53 points by the bench, and that's, again, we can't win when our bench gets outscored by 30 or 40 like it has been many nights. We played the Celtics Saturday. It was the second of a back-to-back, but it was the second of a back-to-back with them, and they were playing without Horford and Williams and Brown. And Jaylen Brown we got to see him play. Prior to that, he is an amazing player, an NBA All-Star, and he didn't play. Of course, we didn't have Cade, and we didn't have Burks, and so those are 2 of our better players and 2 better scorers. But we shot 42% on threes this game, so we go from, this is our inconsistency, 22% against the Knicks on Friday, 42% against the Celtics on Saturday, and so, but we only shot 41% on twos, which we have consistently shot terrible on twos. And so we just have to, find a way to score more consistently. Our team, we just got to get it figured out. But we still got to keep on getting our young guys minutes, keep on giving them opportunities, and see what they can do. So on threes in this game, we had Stu was 2 for 4, Ivey was 4 for 6, and Killian was 3 for 6. So that is amazing 3-point shooting. Sadiq had 10 points, 3 for 13, which isn't too hot, 2 for 6 on threes, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Bogey had 28, huge night for Bogey, 9 for 15, so he's back-to-back games. He has 25 against the Knicks and then 28 against the Celtics. But he was 3 for 7 on threes and got to the line 8 times again, 7 for 8 from the line, and 6 rebounds and 4 assists, so he was just outstanding. Stu scored only 8 points, and he was 3 for 8, 2 for 4 on threes, 9 rebounds, and he only played 29 minutes. And I guess I just like to see him play more. When he's real productive. Ivey, best game of his career. He had another great game just recently, or really a great half, where he had 14 points and 10 rebounds in the first half. But he had 26 points, 8 for 15, which is real efficient. 4 for 6, which he's on threes, which he's not always going to do. But again, teams, until he starts making them consistently, teams are going to give him a lot of space at the 3-point line. And so hopefully he will continue, to progress and be a consistent 3-point shooter. He was 6 for 6 from the line, which he is great at attacking. One thing about us, we are bad at finishing by the rim. Our team is the worst team, the lowest percentage shooting at the rim. We're shooting only 53% at the rim. Partway is because we got undersized team a lot of the time out there, which should improve with Bagley and if we played Noel more. And we got guys that drive in and can't quite elevate. So I think that hurts our percentage. But the only guy on our whole team that is shooting better than the league average at the rim for their position is Jaden Ivey. And he is really good. It really is amazing that he can fly in there so fast and elevate so high, twist and turn, and put a little twist spin on the ball often. And he puts the ball in the basket. And he's also going to draw fouls throughout his career. And like we have said before, he had 3 assists this game only, but he's had more other games. He had 4 rebounds, 4 turnovers, a little bit too high. But again, he's a young player, and he is showing signs of getting better. Killian Hayes played a team-high 35 minutes. So again, KC believes in him, and he played great. And he deserved to play, but especially with Kate out, he had 15 points, but he was 6 for 14, which isn't sensational, but he was 3 for 6 on threes, which certainly is sensational. 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and he just does that, and he, along with playing good defense, he had 5 turnovers, which we like that. He handled the ball a lot, but we'd like to see that cut down. But these 2 games, again, the whole season is about improving, getting better, finding out how we can play, how we need to play. Like I said, I believe that we need to have 2 bigs out there at a time. But I think that when we have the 2 bigs, that almost one of them needs to be Stu, because he can shoot the 3 some. And so it's not great to have Bagley and Duran out there together, or it's not great to have, not to have those 2 guys together. So we can play a smaller lineup when we have Stu out, then just play one of those 2 guys and see what happens. So Hami, again, he's just inconsistent, didn't play a lot of minutes, but he was 2 for 9. And so that's not good. And 1 for 3 on free throws. So that, hurts. And so I do think he could end up being the odd man out, despite the fact that he has shown, the last couple weeks he has played significantly better and had some really good games. Livers, he was great on Friday. And Saturday he only had 3 points, 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 on threes. He did have 5 rebounds and in only 18 minutes, which is good. But I do have faith in him that he will be a good rotation player. Maybe his minutes will vary night to night, but he does give us energy. Like I said, he is a much better athlete than everybody had thought coming out of the draft. He gets up and he blocks shots. He gets up high for rebounds. He plays his butt off on defense. He's great at communicating on defense. And so I think that's going to, like I said, we just got to let him play. And we just got to learn. He's got to learn. We got to see how good he's going to be and figure out what we need to do. But this year, we just need to play those guys lots of minutes. Duran had 2 points. He was 1 for 1. But I will tell you, it was really sweet. He had a jumper that was away from the basket, and he knocked it down. And so we need to see that. So he needs to play. He needs to find out, and he needs to do that. But how in the heck he has 12 rebounds and 2 steals and 1 block, and he only plays 17 minutes. And so I just don't know. Coach Casey, if you know Coach Casey, tell him Dave Dalton said play Duran more minutes. So I don't know. just keep on seeing the same thing. So with that bigger lineup, with having our three bigs in there, we points in the paint were 36-30, and they were missing Horford and Robert Williams, who's their best big guy, and Jaylen Brown, who's pretty tough inside. So that made a difference. But still, I think we're going to be better. Just even having that length down under the basket makes it so teams can't just force feed the ball and get it right at the rim and score on us. So we have a tough road ahead of us. So we got Toronto coming up on Monday, and then we go out west. And the West Coast trip is always hard for any team from the Eastern Conference, and we got to go play the two LA teams. We're playing without Cade against Toronto. We got to play without Cade against the Lakers and Clippers, and then we got to go to Sacramento and Denver and Utah and Phoenix, and that it will be a challenge. But I hope we get our players back. I'm anticipating Burks will play on Monday, and I'm looking forward to watching him play. Night to night, you don't know what's going to happen, but I just still get encouraged every time I see Livers have a great game or Killian have a great game. I mean, Killian, like I said, this could be a turning point in his whole career. I'm not going to promise anybody that, but I know a lot of his problems were due to confidence, and this has given him a chance. And so that's why, even though I hate when Cade doesn't play, because I just look forward to watching him play every game. And so it's disappointing for me when he doesn't play, but it's kind of maybe gotten Killian out of his shell and got him going. So thank you for listening. If you listen on YouTube, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and like it. If you listen on Spotify, if you'd like to, please leave a 5-star review. Thank you, Kelly, for editing this and for all your help and encouragement, and Nathan for all your help. And we hope you have a blessed day. Do something nice for somebody today, and go Pistons.